knew she'd fire me. That's fine, the New York Times would beg to hire me. Till then I'd log alone. Blah, 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 blah.
The way we can get things done as a minority, not just Republicans as a minority, but conservatives as a minority, is take our message directly to people.
Microsoft, as you may know, has a new feature on its Internet Explorer 8 that allows you to have a little more control over privacy. So we're seeing companies provide more choices for consumers.
There are advocacy groups out there who think it's evil to have data. It'll give up your rights. It's going to be used against you. The government's going to get it, and they're great dangers. And that's not where we are.
The approach that we found that we think is strongest is there's a very strong non-delegation argument against the TARP. And the basic principle of non-delegation is, it goes back to Montesquieu and Locke and sort of the way the framers set up the Constitution is they very carefully separated what the different branches of government do. The legislature makes the laws, the executive carries them out, and between the two, the judiciary can step in and sort of handle that. But looking at what the TARP actually does, if you see the legislation, they basically took all of the data out of Congress and put it over into the Treasury and the executive branch. And Congress passed the Economic Emergency Stabilization Act last October, and what they basically did was give Treasury a blank check of $700 billion to spend to help the economy. We think that that's a violation of the non-delegation principle, which means that Congress makes the laws, the executive passes the laws, or enforces the laws rather, and the Treasury, or the judiciary will go ahead and solve any disputes between the two branches. But what's happened is Congress actually gave all of the authority to spend that money away to the Treasury. They didn't debate how that money is being spent. They didn't put any strings on how the money is being spent. They basically said to the Treasury, here's a blank check, go fix the economy. And from our perspective, that is a clear violation of the non-delegation principle. And we are in the process of trying to file a lawsuit to challenge what they did. I've been to the other people in my office go to them, but I think it's an important way to get the information about what's going on policy-wise in Washington out to a larger audience. I mean, you see the prominence of blogs and alternative media has come quite a ways in the last few years, and I think it's an important outlet that goes beyond what the traditional media does, and it's an important way to get your message out to a much wider audience. So I think it's great. It's been interesting. There hasn't been, we've got a little bit of response. The New York Times ran a piece on what we were doing in terms of looking at the TARP, but basically, by and large, I think if you look at the media, they've all sort of supported the notion, and it's gone unchallenged by the mainstream media. Was the TARP actually illegal? Was there a constitutional problem with what they actually did? So that's why places like this give us a chance to spread the word.